Am I the asshole for ignoring my boyfriend after he said, quote, women expire at 30, 2 question marks. I am 28 and he is 40.
That's funny.
That is the best title I've ever seen in a Reddit story. And this story got deleted by mods because it's technically a relationship story.
Oh, okay.
But so I have a copy here, though. But yeah. Since he lives in a different city, we FaceTime every night before bed when we aren't together.
Honey, you're not even next to him? And
Not
you're
even
dealing
next
with
to
this?
him.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
This is the level we're operating at on this story.
Okay, sure.
A couple nights ago, we were having a banter session, just telling jokes to each other.
Just bants, honey.
While watching a dating show. He was pretending to be one of the male guests on the show we watched and said that, quote, women expire at 30, then started laughing. Immediately after he said this, I fell silent for the rest of the call, and then after a couple minutes of him saying, hello, are you there? He finally hangs up, then calls me back. I am not afraid of aging. I look good and I'm as healthy as I can be, but this comment really offended me. I didn't talk to him for 3 days after this, and he had no idea why. On the 4th day, he finally calls me, completely clueless as to why I'm not speaking, and asks me what I'm up to. I immediately bring up the fact that his little joke offended me, and he kind of glosses over it. He said we were both joking and I was just being dramatic like I always am. Then he says, quote, women stop taking care of themselves at 30. And when I refused to stop talking about it, he hung up on me. Jesus Christ. Since then, I have not reached out to him. He has been doing all the work and it's starting to make him upset. 5 dots, lol. Now, every time we speak, he accuses me of having other men over at my house while he's away, but I'm obviously not and wouldn't be writing this post if I was. I keep thinking to myself that if that is the reason why he dumped his last girlfriend after being together for so long, she was suddenly too old for him. I am, quote, very young. I'm not, quote, very young, but I'm obviously younger than him. I'd like to hear from more men than women, please. Am I the asshole for being offended? Even though I'm not 30 yet, is it wrong for me to be upset?
I don't really think this one's real, but I want to only hear from men, please. I'm a woman that was offended by a man.
I totally forgot that last fucking paragraph.
A lot of this is like, why are you dealing with it? Also, why would you not say anything in the moment and wait 3 days? Like, I get it, but it's also like, you do need to be like, fuck off. Like, you do need to say, hey, that's wrong.
Yeah, because I feel like also letting it
fucked up to be in that situation.
You're not the asshole at all.
But it's like if you're really under the pretense of I'm gonna be with my partner forever, and your partner says something shitty to you like that, and you're really upset by it, and you want to like. Listen, here's the 2 things about it. He's a piece of shit.
Yes.
He is the asshole 1000%.
Yeah.
She's the asshole 0%.
Yes.
That's truly what I believe. And people are going to disagree with me because of the 3 days not talking to him thing. They're going to make it all about that.
Yeah.
Because they go off the concept that the silent treatment is abuse. Because it is. But she's not giving him the silent treatment. He offended her, and then she was upset, and she was figuring her shit out.
Yeah, and trying to figure out how she was probably feeling in the moment, because
and she wrote it in a way that made it sound like she's punishing him, so people are gonna get upset about that. I don't agree, and I'm not gonna give quarter to misogynists using this as a way to hate on women. And further, like, I'm not gonna let this become, and we shouldn't either. Let this become she did one wrong thing, so she's the evil villain, and everything that he said is now valid because we're on the internet and we have to take sides, and one person has to be 100% correct, the other one has to be 0%.
Like God intended.
Correct. Which, whatever. I do think if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're offended by something that they say, you do have to communicate that you're offended, because sometimes people don't know inherently. There are many different things that could happen, neurodivergency, whatever. On the other hand, that's a shitty fucking thing to say to your partner, dude, and it's fucking rude, bro.
Yeah, it's the most, like...
Oh my god, what the fuck?
If nothing else, it is the most tone-deaf fucking thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
She's not fucking milk. She's a human being. What the fuck is wrong with you? No one believes in this, that he actually gets pussy. Like, and I'm sorry to boil it down to pussy, but it's like, it's fucked up. But it's like, no one that actually loves women
would be
thinks
doing
like
this. Yeah.
No one actually does. This is like a fake fucking thing made up by fucking 12-year-olds on 4chan. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
We should stop letting this fucking impact our culture, dude. These are children saying this.
Honestly, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
No, you're not in the culture. You don't have the experiences. You don't have the qualification. That is it. 12-year-olds don't write laws for a fucking reason. So they shouldn't write the cultural laws either. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney is not fucking fat. You guys are stupid. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my god, she was photographed in a bikini with her hair up, and men are like, someone posted it and are like, all women are catfishes. And then everyone's like, Sydney Sweeney's literally not fat. She's gorgeous enough for you to respect her, which is hilarious.
Yeah, wait, hold on a second. She's gorgeous enough to respect her?
And also people are like retweeting it, quote tweeting it, and being like, oh, blah, 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 you know, talking about their shit while spreading the initial, that's why they put the initial message in there that all women are catfishes, so that more people will see that phrase. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, nobody remembers the 2000s Republican rhetoric.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah.
No one remembers that Republicans and fascists making pithy, tiny sentences like God hates gays, or
like the most basic things.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Yeah,
it's not just a funny thing to dunk on. It was a thing that actually was pithy and it spread like wildfire.
Propaganda. Yeah,
it was propaganda. You're retweeting propaganda.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Just because you want to look smart with your regular milquetoast takes of obviously not. She's obviously not fat. Fucking duh.
Yeah.
But I have to, you're going to get in my fucking comment section and be like, I don't know, seems like bait. Yeah, I know, dude. Everything's fucking bait on the internet now. It's all just chaff, dude. We're all just fucking...
I've just accepted it.
Eating and regurgitating it in our 5 stomachs like cows.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I'm making manure to fertilize your crops in Farming Simulator 2025.
And slurry. Cow piss. Spread it all over your grass crop.
I don't know. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just funny. I don't know. Shit. Why are you dealing with this, honey?
You should break up. Yeah.
Keep your head up, queen. What the fuck?
Yeah. I'm really, and I think this is one of the things that always fascinates me with stories like this, where it's like, you know, and I think part of also the right-wing grift, coincidentally, is also the idea of making jokes, quote unquote, when it's reality. It's just when meanwhile you don't even know how to fucking craft one.
Yeah, it's set up punchline.
Well, even set up punchline, like context does matter if like there isn't a traditional set up punchline. If you just say a random sentence out of nowhere with no context, it's not gonna... I
still don't think that's a joke. I'm sorry. Yeah. I could be like, polar bears on beach balls. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah.
Just random XD.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke either when we were all doing that. The narwhal bacon's at midnight.
Whoa.
Ha ha ha. It's wacky. No, it's not a fucking joke. You're just saying words. Yeah, it was funny at the time because we were creating the meme, we were creating memes.
Yeah, this was the early age of the internet when
we were creating hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
to bounce off on. And I don't know. I don't even think it, like looking back on it, we're like, oh man, we all were like brain damaged by the lead in the Lunchables or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And now we're all brain damaged by COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, doubly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, all right.
And now you're mold poisoned by lunch leaf. I don't know, man. I just really, that always pisses me off, I think, on I guess I do this as my job level. But also, like,
I think about it all the time. I'm like, why the fuck is my job poisoned by this stupid rhetoric every week?
Yeah.
Like every week I read a new thing that's like, I'm someone doing something that no person would ever fucking do.
Yeah.
and somehow it's a minority's fault. Am I the asshole? And then the comments are all filled with racist ass Redditors being like, NTA, minorities should have known better. And then people are just fucking regurgitating these fucking stories. And I'm just like, obviously, this is stupid.
Yeah, this is.
And sometimes, I mean, the reason I think that we talk about gender all the time is the only one I can combat is gender. And maybe even sexuality. But I'm more confident about the gender one.
Yeah.
Because I was in the closet for most of my life and only really experienced mild bouts of homophobia once I came out. Because for some reason people think I'm straight. That's hilarious to me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at this scene.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I just also, the other thing too is like, if it's been 3 days, just fucking break up.
Yeah,
if you realize that your
That's
life
what
is
I'm
better.
saying. If you're like, I'm gonna not talk to my boyfriend for 3 days because I'm mad at him, you should break up with him.
But also, if you're gonna do that, and then on day 4 you finally respond, and he just glosses over what happened
And
that
hangs
caused
up
3
on
days,
you,
it's
it's over.
Yeah,
It's just over.
yeah. I'd bounce
Yeah.
immediately.
No, yeah, he instigated it and he's in the wrong.
Yeah.
I understand why it would take you 3 days. I would probably also be like pissed about it for 3 days. I just would also talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, okay, real quick question.
Yeah.
Like, do you think a part of it also plays into the fear of becoming 30 that some people have? Like, is that like you can become old?
From what I understand, the women expire at 30 is based around not being able to have kids rhetoric.
Oh, okay.
So it's like white flight rhetoric.
Got it. Okay.
A lot of it is based like remember when people like alt-right fascists were tweeting at Taylor Swift and being like, Taylor, you would be such a good mom. You should be a mom, because she started to be in her 30s. And yeah,
okay.
It's deeply disturbing because it's like, how much as a woman am I supposed to be boiled down to my body? Like, I've always felt personally as a fat woman disenfranchised from my own body, because being fat kind of equals being masculine, even though being fat is also fetishized as like big boobs and a big butt.
Yeah.
Which of course is connected to misogyny noir, which is black women, because the heroin chic was the standard of skinny white women were idolized, and then it swinged wildly in the opposite way, where no, a big butt and big boobs were the idolization. Being curvy and like slim thick was the thing.
Yeah.
But that happened at the same time as a fetishization of like black culture, where hip hop became like the biggest thing in pop music.
Yeah.
Everyone started getting into that, and culture vultures and all things like that. Like, that's a whole thing in itself that a lot of other people have said better and have better shit on. But and then so being a fat woman, it's are you fat or are you thick? Or are you thick or are you curvy? Are you mid-size or are you this or are you that or whatever? And the terms all have their own different cultural impacts, in some ways that are positive, in some ways that are quite negative. Body positive, body neutral, body this, body that, body blah, 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 blah. And really, personally, the only thing I've ever felt is like a brain on a stick, completely disconnected from the meat sack. That's how I feel. And so when I'm like, I feel like a monster, I feel like Godzilla, people are like, so you're non-binary. And I'm like, no, I'm a woman for sure. I feel like a woman.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like
disconnected.
Your definition of woman is I need to focus on my body. And I just don't feel like it. I feel like I'm valid as a woman without doing that. But everyone's like, no, the properties of being a woman are boiled down to whether or not you can have kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what about infertile women? What about women with endometriosis? They're not women? Okay. And then you get into TERF territory where it's like, no, trans women are women.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've never connected more with a woman than when a trans woman talks about how they're persecuted online. That's a woman. She's getting the woman's experience. That's a woman.
Yeah.
At this point, womanhood is defined by the amount of harassment and crap you can take from everyone else.
Yeah. That's a shame.
You think?
Water's wet too. Did you know that?
Like, I've never in my life. It's so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's fucking awesome. That's so crazy.
Yeah, straight up. So, you know, that's what the expiring at 30 is. That's what it's always been about. Oh, you're 55. You have to play a 28-year-old in a movie.
Yeah,
oh,
Jesus.
You're too old now. Lifetime Achievement Award. While men directors can be 80 years old. And
yeah, and actually
making movies.
Let's make sure no young people actually get in. No young guys and no young women also join the industry.
And if they're young, they have to be young white dudes.
Yeah.
And then if you ever talk about anybody like, oh, you know, there are not enough black people, black actors, or Asian actors, or anything like that. Middle Eastern actors, you know, other cultures not being represented in Hollywood. It's actually their fault for not being good enough at their craft. Just the thing about it is just that white people are just inherently better at art. And then when you point it out like that plainly and bluntly, you're like, oh no, that's white supremacy. Which is why they put all the flowery language around it.
Yeah, to hide it, yeah.
So you don't need to write a fucking 30,000 word essay. You can boil it down into ways in which our disenfranchised society can digest it. No, it's just white supremacy, the entirety of it. Like, yes, you're mad at capitalism. Why is capitalism running?
White supremacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the end all be all of capitalism?
White supremacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm so pissed that people are not even making that connection, and we're talking about whether or not Sydney Sweeney is hot. Obviously she's hot. Look at her. Have you seen her? She's so hot. We all know.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. I get
My God.
Yeah.
Let's move on, please. We got other stuff to do. Like read Reddit stories. Next story solved it.
I also gotta pee again.
Okay.
Fucking...
And last thing too, okay, she's 100% not the asshole because, and even though she did not speak to him for 3 days, which I do think is shitty to do if you're like gonna be with someone and you want to be with someone, even if they did fuck up, she's shitty for that in that she should respect herself and trust herself in that when you don't want to speak to your partner for 3 days,
maybe
your body is telling you, I don't like them.
Yeah.
You should listen to your own self.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But I don't blame her for that in the way that people blame women for not leaving abusive relationships.
No.
I understand what she's going through. It's just, I see myself in her, which is why I'm getting mad.
No, I get you.
Because, yeah, I think so many people can relate to that, where you're like, I'm mad and I don't know what to do, so I'm going to just, I'm just gonna.
No, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
But it can be shitty sometimes.
Yeah, I get you.